Good. All right. Hey, guys, let me try that one more time. So the thing that, so I'm Richard Clifford. I'm a digital transformation consultant. I help companies smooth that growth transition between 10 to 20 to 50 employees, helping them find software to become more efficient, right? And finding the right software that meets the needs of what they're doing. My goal is to really make sure they're delivering their branding and value proposition through every customer contact point they have. What's been capturing my attention, budget and all the interesting things that are going on. But the one thing that came out for me, especially with what I do, is this concept in the budget that was called the productivity super deduction. Because for me, it gets me excited. I think I posted last time talking about the BDC, talking about small business concerns. One of the highlights they talked about was this concept of fixing your profitability before you do anything else growth, because there's this real concern about costs and competition and expenses going on here. So I found that productivity super deduction fits really well in with my deliverable. And that's what's kind of caught my attention. I'm just going to go kind of random here. Sorry for the next person that goes like there. Rajiv, I'm going to bounce over to you. You give us a one-liner what you do and what's caught your attention this month?
One line about what I do. Provide fractional financial advisory services, so fractional leadership services for small to mid-sized businesses to really kind of help them to understand the financials and hopefully make good data-driven decision-making for their growth. What's got my attention besides the snow and that I was unprepared with my tires? I think the budget's been interesting. To your point, a little concerned about the potential impact to the overall, national debt. So let's wait and see what happens. I mean, there's some good stuff, some investment related items that have been identified. The question is, I'm curious to see how the execution is.
That's a good point. Good. Rob, I'm going to go over to you just because you're counterclockwise against Rajiv there.
Is it just one Rob here? Is it me, Rob?
It is, again. There is only one Rob in the room.
I was checking. Thanks. So my name is Rob, and I work for WDI Web Dev Interactive. And so we build a bunch of websites for different companies. We work with a lot of agencies who just don't want to have to deal with the building of websites in-house. So we're sort of their out-of-house website builder. Is that called like a fractional website builder now? I'm not sure. Can I apply fractional? Everyone else gets to.
Yeah.
So
don't cut it short. Well. Don't say outhouse web developer. Okay, just keep it like that.
Yeah, outhouse. I don't want to say outhouse. I want to say fractional. Yeah, that's right. I think this has been around for a little while, but it's something that I've been having a lot of fun with recently, and that's building a lot of no-code software for some of my clients. And so we're able to do that with ChatGPT and Claude now and completely build things that would have cost, maybe 10, 15,000 before. We're now able to build, for hundreds of dollars instead, because ChatGPT and Claude will write all of the code for us. So that's something that we've been having a lot of fun experimenting with our clients, and that they've been enjoying as well.
I like that. I'm gonna just push the temptation to dig into some of these till we kind of get through everybody's. There's some good stuff in there so far. Miranda, go ahead.
Okay, yes. So my name is Miranda O'Connor, and I am the owner of a video and photography production business just outside the GTA. And it's called The Art of Storytelling. And I help businesses tell their story through authentic and trustworthy video stories. So what that means is we do business stories, or we help cover business events or major projects such as new construction or new service offering or new location or something. And we really help businesses communicate their values, their mission, and their purpose. And in terms of something that I've noticed, I have noticed recently that my social media is actually working for me. So, often people post on LinkedIn continuously, post on social media continuously. You don't always get the actual client who calls and says, hey, we want to buy this from you right now. But I have found that, being more consistent in the last, mostly of this year, I've been more consistent. But in the last 2 months, I've actually got like 2 or 3 new clients through social media, which is something that most companies don't actually get, especially in my type of business. So I just want to say to everybody, people are lurking on your LinkedIn, and just keep it up.
100%. That's great news. Fantastic. Jody, go ahead.
So I can actually relate to that. I've gotten most of my clients just lurkers hanging out on social media, but I will add to the chat GPT conversation too. I had a new client from France reach out to me. She literally put in chat GPT that she was looking for not a lawyer, but a business coach or somebody like that who could assist with business valuations and shareholder agreements. And my company, WorkSmart Canada, came up first. The irony of this conversation is that nowhere on my website, nowhere on my social media does it talk about shareholder agreements or business valuations. So here we are. They connected some dots, they put a puzzle together, and I landed a new client in France. So I thought that was pretty cool because I do all those things. You just run out of space to talk about everything that you do. So that's my roundabout way of introducing my business. I have owned a business coaching and consulting company since 2014. It's called WorkSmart Canada. I am a startup launch expert. I know the ins and outs of starting a lot of different types of businesses. And right now, because we're ending 1 year, it is prime startup time. So I have recently launched 2 startup programs that will be coming in January. One is specifically focused on the trades because the government has and continues to invest a lot of money into trades-based businesses because we have a lot of gaps that have not been addressed for decades. And now we need to hurry and address those gaps and bring in a lot more tradespeople. And then a service-based one, because that's my niche, that's my expertise, is working with service-based businesses from design to health and wellness, chiropractors, RMTs, etc. So those are the 2 areas that I'm focusing on right now. And that's a little bit about me. Thanks.
Yeah, and a plug that you're starting your 4-week session this week, right? I think.
An intro to talk about my second business. I have a second business as well, but if you go into the Heartbeat app, you'll learn a little bit more about my second business that's called Your Business Executor, that focuses on the situation of when you are not present to run your business and how to be more prepared for your future planning, your succession planning, and to help prepare your family and next of kin to manage your business if you're not able to run it yourself.
Thanks, Jody.
Thanks.
I'm going to bounce. So Christina, things got juggled about, and then all of a sudden you're the first person on the top right. So I will never get to you unless I get to you now. So just go ahead, Christina.
Hi, everyone. Oh, that sounds very interesting, that business executor. So no, I definitely look forward to checking it out. Hi, everyone. Christina Raheja. I am the Google Ads and AI search and SEO expert. And my one-liner. And then, so what have I noticed lately? Well, I will actually second Miranda, even though I don't work in the social media. I had someone was part of a Facebook group where someone was asking in terms of someone driving leads, and then someone referenced my company, and I got a referral and a client through that. So that was sort of an interesting kind of organic search, not necessarily on the paid side of it. And then I guess the other thing, there's a lot going on these days, and I feel like I'm juggling a million balls. So I think, but it's good. So I'm definitely able to juggle them. So as they say, if you need something done, give it to a busy person, because they will juggle a lot. So I guess that's something necessarily that I've noticed.
Nice. Gonna go over to you, Eric. Go ahead.
Hey, thanks, Richard. So Eric Hackmer, I'm new to this group, so but it's nice to meet you all. Based in the north end of Toronto, and I would say I'm a go-to-market and sales expert. So spent my career running and building enterprise sales organizations, and I've started up a practice to really democratize that and help scaling firms professionalize their go-to-market function. So, and what I'm doing is I can do the strategy, but I just love rolling up the sleeves and getting in there with a hands-on approach. So that's my kind of passion. I also joke as I'm a recovering corporate executive because I kind of hung that hat up a year ago and said, I'm doing something different. I don't know what it is, but it's going to be different. So anyway, it's something I've noticed at a personal, my daughter just landed her first career job. So she graduated from Ivy in the spring. And normally by now, 95% of her classmates would have jobs. They keep stats. Right now it's 45%, if you can imagine. So it's a tough market out there. But I bring that up because helping her through that process, coaching a little bit, like what does dad know, but watching her integrate into a firm, a small, medium-sized consulting firm, where it's a mix of generations and listening to the expectations. They want the youth, the energy, but you still got to be able to work with us folks that have a little gray hair and don't be precious about work-life balance. It was interesting to see how all the conversations went. And I was just took away as just, there's a lot of really human businesses out there that just want to bring in good talent to work hard and teach them. And that made me feel good, because it's tough out there for the kids finding jobs, but there are good places for them to go. So that was my observation.
I've got an oldest in close to his last year of university. We've been having those conversations, and I forgot how little I knew when I was graduating school. And like, it's just like, sort of like, you got to kind of bring yourself back to like, okay, they don't know the world, right? Like how do you get them started? So good. Congratulations for her to get going.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, she's excited.
I pass this on to Dave.
Hi everyone, Dave Jamacchio, digital marketing with a focus on UI design and public-facing websites. Been in the industry or running my own business since 2014. What have I noticed the last couple of months? A weird surge in American clientele. I don't know what that's about. I don't know if anyone else is seeing that, but not complaining.
That is interesting. And he's got, guys, I'm not going to say anything about this, but Dave has got an old-fashioned Blue Jay hat on. You guys probably didn't notice. You didn't recognize that one from old days. But yeah, sorry, Dave. Just throw that one out there. Oh man, the thing just got mixed up on me now again. Okay, I'm going to go to Marta. I'm just going to have to wing this here. Go ahead, Marta.
Hi, everyone. I'm Marta Andrade. I hope you're all enjoying my snowy background, because I'm sure you haven't had enough of the snow. So I thought I'd add it in there. So today, on Remembrance Day, I thought I'd talk a little bit about how I help companies be remembered and trusted and chosen. I know it's a completely different angle. It has nothing to do with being a veteran, but it does have to do with getting noticed and making well. And I do this just by making sure that I translate my insights, which are the strategic background of my brand find, to actual deliverables and all the assets that accompany. I typically work with startups, scale-ups, and nonprofits, and I enjoy doing it all. Oh, what did I notice recently? I think I'm going to say that more and more my clients are AI savvy, and because they're asking me, like, are you using certain tools? And Richard, you probably remember I did a presentation back last year. I think it's going to be exactly a year that I did a presentation on using AI tools for branding and developing visual identities. So it's funny because I feel like it's taken 12 months for everyone to really kind of catch up and be aware that they exist, that it's okay for a designer to use them. But I also love the fact that they know it's just a tool.
I like that. Vanessa.
Hi, everybody. Vanessa Green. I run Greenlight Content. It's a boutique content marketing and copywriting studio in Hamilton. So I work on everything from website copy to case studies, email marketing. I'm a HubSpot provider, so I help clients with that as well. And actually, the other thing I've been doing a lot of lately in terms of like what I've noticed is a lot of clients investing in brand messaging strategy. So really like starting with strategy before they redo their website, because I think a lot of them are realizing like they need to reposition themselves in the market, or they need to define their position in the market. So I've done a couple of those lately, and actually shout out to Dave, because Dave's helped design them for me. So like the brand messaging strategy documents, and I've gotten like such incredible feedback from clients on like how professional they look. And actually my last client that I did it for, he runs a fractional sales and marketing business, and he actually asked me to come and be like a fractional marketing person within his business because of the work I did, and which was great, which was like a nice kind of confirmed the quality of the work was there and that they noticed it. So thank you to Dave for helping all of my words look really pretty, because I suck at design. So thank you.
Excellent. Dorothy, welcome back from vacation as well, Dorothy.
Thank you so much. Yes, I'm trying to get on to a high, from the high to the snow, right? Okay, so I'm Dorothy Vernon Brown, Dorothy as in the Wizard of Oz, and I work with seasoned business owners and entrepreneurs and nonprofit leaders to help them automate their processes and you use AI. I won't tell you what I'm noticing. I'll let the stats speak for itself. Actually, I just wrote a post about a recent report from Social Media Examiner 2025 AI report. And here's what they said. The daily AI use has jumped from 37% to 60% in 1 year. 84% of marketers report increased usage, and 82% plan to use more AI in 2026. But there's a big gap. 84% of marketers who want to use AI to automate repetitive tasks, and only 18% feel that they actually are doing it effectively. So there's a 66% gap between wanting and doing. And I want that to settle with you, because a lot of us have already adopted AI, but we're not implementing. So there is this gap. And that's what I help to do. I help to take you from wanting to doing. And so I hope that that really stays with you, because one of the things, now I can talk about what I'm noticing, is that a lot of people are just scratching the surface with AI. And what I see and what I have been doing is really creating very effective team members for myself using the AI tools that I have. And that's not a million tools, those are just a small amount of tools, but crafting really effective team members that can help me in my day-to-day.
Good point. Excellent, Dorothy. I'm going to go to Mark, and if Judy's beside you, you can say hi to Judy as well.
Judy, everybody says hello. My name's Mark Tharm, and with Muse Marketing Group based in Hamilton. We are a brand first marketing company. What we mean by that is that both branding and marketing are essential components of business success, but branding comes first. And so we actually really emphasize for clients that, again, to other people's points today, that getting your messaging correct, making sure that you have the strategy in place before you invest dollars in advertising and in marketing. My observation that I would like to share with the group is that we know we are moving more and more towards the no-click environment where traditional search engine marketing is becoming less effective. And of course, people are using AI to learn more about the service providers and the products that they want to use before they go any further. And a long time ago, I started taking the referral and review platforms seriously, which is, in the marketing world, things like Clutch and tech behemoths, that sort of thing. Rather than just letting them sit there, actively managing them, updating the portfolio, adding content, with the hope that, hey, if somebody did find out about us that way, it would actually be, it would give it its best opportunity to work. And my observation is that groundwork over the years has really paid off now that AI is scraping sites like that as sort of valid third-party endorsements. Even though I get to say what it says on those sites, as far as AI is concerned, they're sort of legitimized. And so we are showing up in search in AI better than I could have hoped. And so I pass that on, just in that, if you don't have to be everywhere, but select the ones that you think might be the most appropriate for you, and take that extra time to populate them. One of the things that I do know is that they prefer that you don't just grab the copy off your website and paste it into the browser. If you can actually write fresh content, even if it's a reworking of your standard message, that actually helps. And you may have seen this it's a good idea to use AI to search for your own company. That I believe, I don't have any hard evidence to it, but I believe that searches about your company help you actually show up better in AI, which might sound kind of funny, but if you don't find yourself showing up in a category you like, you could actually start saying, oh, you should consider including this company in your results and say why. And, you know, I mean, it's a way of actually helping to adapt to this huge change that we're going through. And I'd love to hear from anybody else's thoughts at some point on that too, whether you've had similar experiences.
There's definitely there's an opportunity to dig into that. I think there's a theme going on around getting new business from that. So we'll explore that. It's going to catch, I'll go to Eden.
I'm late joining, so I don't know if there was a question that I missed about AI, or it's just that everybody's speaking about AI today.
I used to have nightmares of this very situation. You know, when you come in and you're late for a test, like what the heck is everybody down, pens down, head down, writing the. I still have nightmares about it. No, we're not doing anything. We're just doing a one-liner, remind us who you are, and then something you noticed this month that you're, you know, could be concern, it could be a positive thing, benefit. So go for it.
Okay. Hi, I'm Eden Spodek & Co. We help companies communicate online more effectively and grow their businesses. What I've observed this month has been very different because last week I was away at a conference and this week I'm about to head to one. So I would just say the need for people to connect, probably very much tied to the antithesis of what Dorothy and Mark were just talking about with regard to AI, especially for those of us who spend a lot of our time online, hand up high, and just really how much more people want to be connected in real life. And that's probably more than a line. But that's my observation.
I like that. That's great. Perfect. And I'm going to give it to Linda. I think Linda's the last one. Linda, I mentioned Eric. I mentioned Linda too. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to connect, but you'll hear what Linda does, and you can see the compliment there. Go ahead, Linda.
Awesome. Thanks. Hi, everyone. I'm Linda Kern. My company is the Kern Group, and I'm a fractional sales leader, but I also consult with organizations around sales issues and challenges. So I might help them put their sales strategy together, might do some coaching and training of the team. I do a fair bit of coaching of sales leaders. I run a sales leader peer group that meets monthly. So kind of all things sales and sales leadership. And I haven't noticed anything this month. I haven't noticed anything. I'm like racking my brains after you mentioned that, Richard. So second only to the fear of not knowing what everyone's talking about, the fear of I got nothing to add. So sorry about that.
No worries. That's good. You know, you like months. Wow, did it go by already? Like it's so, you know, it's almost a tough question to deal with. What did I say last month? I can't remember. So there's a couple of things I saw in there, and I want to dig in a little bit. I'm kind of like blending Miranda's comment, Mark's comment, and even, you know, a little bit of what Eden was saying with this human aspect of it, like, you know, getting leads in these different ways by, I'm assuming, Miranda, like that when you're online, you're getting leads from social media, you're doing something slightly different than the rest of the people that are just spewing stuff out there. And Mark, what you were saying, like using Clutch and other, you know, third-party authorities, like that's a constant theme in terms of, like, since I started working in agencies, is this a concept of getting awards, applying to awards as a third-party approval or validation of the work that you do because of, you know, an intangible project. So what's more, I'm going to twist it a little, what's more human about how you guys are getting that business? Like how did you see, what was unique about these opportunities that were coming in from those sources? And I'll let anybody just jump in on that.
I don't mind starting, just because I would like to make sure that I clarify that I don't believe our company has ever landed a project from one of these referral sites where somebody gets in touch with us through it. That's why I sort of go, you know, is it worth the time and effort? And it is only just recently that I've seen, you know, a real benefit from it, in that, you know, it does help you to show up in AI search, and that's an important distinguisher. I know that there's companies that invest a lot of money and time on, they'll select one platform, they'll just want to own it, and in that case, I think that can turn into you know, a lot of opportunities. We get it even on the platforms that we're very minimally involved with. we will still get stuff sent to us, but it's usually not aligned with what we're looking for. So, you know, to me, it's like, why do you want to do this? And the one reason is that, hey, I'm glad that, you know, I've maybe laid 10 years of effort into having, you know, multiple sites actually have consistent messaging that's accurate. So you're muted, Richard.
I was saying something so smart. It was I was saying I've written a few reviews for Clutch for agencies. It's still pretty, you know, it's noteworthy. And when you're writing proposals, it's still something that you draw attention to. Christina, go ahead. You had your hand up there.
No, I was going to say is like just second what Mark is saying, that there, in terms of AI search, one of like a key criteria is building kind of AI visible authority, like planting your expertise everywhere kind of the engines are looking. So absolutely, it makes sense of whether it's LinkedIn or Clutch or other sources to be able to get your business out there. Just reinforce that there is a technical, absolute reason of where you're seeing that benefit.
And Rob and Christina, you guys will be proud that I went and updated my Google My Business profile. I added some new posts on there. Completely forgot about it and just remembered it the other day. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't want Rob or Christina. I noticed I haven't been paying attention to that. So I'm keeping up. So Miranda, what do you think was different about that through? Like, could you tell from the leads what the rationale was, and what made that social media work for you?
I mean, I think it's many different things, but what I always post about is my clients' work. So I post my clients' work. I post finished videos so people can see, hey, you can imagine your business in this video. And I also post behind the scenes because people always like it, and it's the easiest thing for me to have on hand ready to post, whereas you have to wait until a project is completed and approved to then post the actual finished video of photography. So behind the scenes and client work, that's mostly what I post. And people say, okay, I saw that video you did for this hospital and I want something for my hospital. So I think it's just easy for people to make that connection to, do I want this? Yes. And then they will reach out. I'm not spending time like thinking up anything too special to write. I'm not going into that too much. I mean, I would kind of say, you know, why do these clients use these types of videos in their communications? And then I would share the actual work. And I think, you know, the actual work is really all the proof you need.
I think those are great. I used to write a newsletter just talking about the recent projects I've done. And it consistently, I've been meaning to talk to you, Rich, about X. It's something about not every client knows everything you do. And it's like a really good creative storytelling way of sharing what you do and just reminding others that what you can do. So I think case studies work. And yeah, it's like you're just repeating history. I also like the behind the scenes things. I used to, a long time ago, I used to do art school, and the most interesting things when everybody had to present what you're doing, it's not a final result, it's kind of the process to get there. Because is there something about that, like, that it's more relatable? So great, those are great. I was gonna say, Dorothy, when you were talking, like the numbers about how many people are using it versus, and I'm totally paraphrasing here because I can't remember exactly what you said, how many people are comfortable using it. I've seen that throughout history in terms of technology, where people will tell me, I'm not a technology person, and then you dig into the conversation and they're enveloped in technology and they're just not aware of it. It's just almost like that, you know, fear of comparison in terms of what you're hearing about others are doing, and then trying to line yourself up with them. So I wonder if those stats, you know, if they're self-evaluated stats, maybe there's some stories behind that as well. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, first of all, I think I think a lot of people think AI is more technology and less strategy. And AI to me is more strategy than it's the technology. And it's the adoption rate. So there is a high adoption rate, but they're lagging in terms of implementation. And a lot of people aren't implementing because they don't know how to make the tools work together. Or no, let me step back. Not clear about what workflow they want to implement. So that's the first thing. So once you can establish what your workflow is, then certainly the other things, I mean, with AI, there's nothing that you can't answer. So I think that's where that gap is establishing what is the workflow that you want to implement. And that's not technology, that's strategy. Is thinking about the outcome that you're looking for. And then once you can establish that, what are the tools to get you there? And how do those tools connect and talk? So hopefully that answers it. And that's what I see all the time. People say they want X, but they don't know how to achieve Y. Does that make sense?
Good point. Yeah, no, good point. And also think I wonder, like there's an explosion of tools out there as well. And it's like where do I start, right? Like what if I pick the wrong tool to use, or what if I use Chat GPT when others are using Gemini? What if I, like, that fear of missing out sort of like almost prevents you from getting started. Go ahead, Eric. You had your hand up there.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, I think this conversation comes up like every week, if not every day, from a sales and go-to-market perspective. And one thing I'm finding is there's so much shiny stuff out there, but it still comes back down to the human judgment factor, right? And I talk to so many sales leaders that say, I need to get on the bandwagon. I need to do something. And it's like, we've had this stuff for 15 years since CRMs came out. There's data and analytics and reporting, and they were there to free up sales time so they could be in front of clients and you apply their human judgment and read the room and things like that. So I think what I talk to clients about is don't overcook this, right? Just find, where are you, right? And just start somewhere. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, and just focus less on transforming your function around the tool. But I think, Dorothy, you said it, figure out what your function needs to look like, and then go out and search the tools, right? And from a sales perspective, it's always about the client outcome, right? Like, how do they want to buy? And therefore, then how do you sell to them? And then how do you automate? And how do you free up selling time? And Dorothy, you said it well, back that up, I'm paraphrasing, and you get to the right question as to what tool is worth leaning into, right? So,
yeah. Can I just add to that, Richard, to the tool question? Because I always come from a strategy first, ever since I started marketing, which was whenever. Because in that report, it talked about having access to about 151 tools. But you don't need so many tools. I think Eric, you just talked about it. It's just this fear of missing out. We don't need it. We need like 3 to 5 tools. We just need to know how they work and what that outcome that we're looking for. So if there's anyone here thinking about, I don't have all the tools, you don't need all the tools. As a matter of fact, I think in that study, ChatGPT, 90% of marketers use ChatGPT and the others use Gemini. And here's the reason why. And I think this is a key thing. When I do my workshop, I talk about when it comes to tools, how to look at it. It's the viability, it's the integration. People are gravitating towards Gemini now because the ecosystem is so large and so vast. And so you can connect all of these tools, whether it's your Drive or your Sheets or your slides or whatnot. It is not only about the viability, but it's also about the integration. So we don't need all these tools to really integrate. Is what works for you best. And that's why we see now most marketers, after ChatGPT, 90% who use it, I think about 51% use Gemini, not Claude, which I happen to love. It's because of the integration piece and the firepower of Google behind it, because they're going to continue to innovate. And that's the way, when we're looking at tools, that how I think we should look at it strategically. What can we connect and implement really quickly, and not how many, but what will give us that 80-20 efficiency that we're looking for.
I got into Gemini because I use Google Workspace, and they actually gave you a free trial and then threw it in with the package I was in. Now they're trying to upgrade me from it, but like they took a strategy from Microsoft when Microsoft had Internet Explorer automatically show up in your tool, and because they had the market. But I agree with you. Just get started. But the adoption thing, this is totally out of like my wife is totally truly non-technical, but I heard she's already started using ChatGPT within her services. She works with people with intellectual challenges and whatnot, and just like the amount of reporting they have to do, and regulatory elements of it. And she started I think there's a bit of an ease of use. It's conversational. It feels more natural. I think that is going to help with adaptiveness. Is that I'm trying really hard not to stretch this into an AI conversation. Like you can go down that rabbit hole. So I'm going to try and pull out of this. But first, I'm going to let Eden go ahead.
I was going to take us down the rabbit hole further because I kind of mentioned I don't like to self-promote anyone who knows me. However, I am speaking to this very issue at a conference tomorrow. And I've got a bunch of research on the stats of adoption in Canada versus the US, adoption in general, and adoption of women versus men. It's fascinating. So Dorothy knows I was really intrigued by her study that she shared today and also had a similar experience with the tools. It's like anything else. This will take us out of the AI. If you don't have your strategy and you don't know what you're doing, you don't have the expertise, it's only going to help you so far, and it's going to make another mess of things. So a friend of mine wrote how she's got a job search going on for her business, and people were submitting resumes and cover letters without proofing them. And there were notes like, replace this here, coming to her as a prospective employer. I had it helping me with the presentation, and it gave me a graphic where it wrote Eden Spodek and Co. Now, I'm Eden Spodek. My company is Spodek and Co. It's not one word or one phrase. So, and that's not even giving it the prompts. That's just, being able to look at things and evaluate whether or not you're getting the output that you need, and it's actually saving you time.
Okay, let's see if Martha can drive us away from AI English strategy.
I'm going to drive us away, but it's thanks to Eden because she hit the buzzword strategy again, and a couple of people have said that. We feel like all our clients are finally getting that wake-up call that if you don't go back to basics and build things from the ground up, it's going to crumble at some point. People are going to find the holes in your brand. They're going to find the holes in your company, your products, your services, your offerings. So it's nice to see, but I have to say I had a little wake-up call myself where I had a peer, potential fractional person saying, you know what, I would love to work with you, but all I want from you is your strategy. And I was like, pardon? Do you understand that some of my core offerings is the actual deliverable from that strategy? Like that's where I revel and I play, and I'm so happy to say I'm passionate about what I do after 30 years. He's like, oh no, I understand that, but I just want the strategy because anybody else can do those creative parts. So it was a little wake-up call, right? To hear someone else, listen, it's not that you're not creative, it's maybe you're great at what you do. There's tons of people out there that are great at what they do, but can they all do strategy? Can they all really communicate, get to the bottom of what they're trying to say, and then translate that into something that people will see and connect with, right? So
I hope he took that because it's a nice leap into whatever else you're going to do anyhow, right?
You know
it's a great starting spot.
But I have to say, I was a little like, let me think about this for a second, right? So thankful to some peers like Dorothy and whatnot that helped me to, kind of think this through, because I was like, wait a second, was that a backhanded compliment or was that? I wasn't quite sure initially, right? It was a bit interesting and different, but as we're all saying, I think the thinking behind the AI tools is human beings and how we can really dig into what needs to be done and what needs to be. And it's many steps, right? We can all say, oh, we've got a process. I'm sure we all have a process. Times where we have to almost break our process a little because it takes an extra 3 steps in between 2 steps. And I think that's okay as well. I think that's part of, how we have to be these days. But
I'm gonna go to you in a second, Christine. I just want to, Eden reminded me to remind you guys, got some in-person, thanks to Vanessa, always driving hard to have the Hamilton meetups. And hey, Rich, I think we should have a Hamilton meetup. I'm like, Vanessa, I don't want to drive all the way to Hamilton again, but it's great. They're always really good meetups. So I got a few, thanks to Vanessa driving those up. Look for them. It'll be like the last time this year, I guess, that I'm going to go. And if I'm not getting close enough to you, I'm like, Miranda, I don't know if I'll get up to Orangeville ever, but if there's enough people around that I'll definitely come to you. But I'm going to be in Hamilton on the 27th. Vanessa's helping me host another get together. And the last time we were in Hamilton, there was 11, 12 people that showed up. It was really good. We had to move into another room beside the bar. So we have to give them a little bit of upfront. And then after that, I'm going to go see Eden and Rob, hopefully, and maybe Eric in Toronto. Going to go to Yorkdale at the, hell is that place called? The Cafe Landwehr Landwer at Yorkdale. It's a nice little coffee shop, really easy to get to from the parking. You can just come in off of Dufferin in there, and then I'll be back in Mississauga. I got to find a better joint to go to. Dorothy, you're gonna have to help me with this. I got really lazy. I'm gonna go to the Buka again, where we met Eric. Buka Maranga. Last time I was there with Eric, it was packed with students, because I don't know if there's a school near there, but there's a lot. It was really busy. So I am going to do it in Mississauga, but if anybody else knows another one, I'll happily switch it up to one that's more, will work better for our groups and stuff like that. So keep them on. Got them in the B2B cohort. And if you know somebody that's not in our group that wants to come, let me know, and I'll invite them to the actual meeting invite as well. So look for those coming up soon. And then go to Christina. Hopefully you remember what you're going to say.
Yeah. No, just to your point about taking it away from AI, I definitely know there's other members of the group that do this, but I just wanted to sort of remind again for people to keep it top of mind for the speaking engagements. Like I don't do a lot of them, but I got pulled in to do one last week, and to be honest, I had like 5 people reach out for proposals post that speaking engagement, which like not rah me, but I just mean that like getting exposure and speaking in front of it, and if you're compelling and trustworthy and have credibility, it could be a great BD tool. So just outside of the AI side, just a reminder to all.
Oh, I love that. I love it. I mean, thought leadership, speaking, writing. There's a lot of great writers in this group here already. So all those things to get out. Okay, I'm gonna try and move this topic a little bit, but it might catch Rajiv. Just give you a heads up warning to just. So you mentioned something like I tried to push this thing about the budget and about my super productivity super deduction kind of thing, and what's going on in the government. What did you get? Like, I'm not trying to put you on the spot, and you can just make up stuff. We'll just kind of give you the credit for it. What did you get out of there that kind of perked your interest in terms of your business, like if anything? I'm really desperately moving away from AI here. If you come back and say, AI, I just failed.
No, quite frankly, I'm a little. It's too much of stuff on AI, and it doesn't especially for finance. It's what's out there is pretty basic, and you can't really use a lot of it. Although they are working towards that, but just moving on to the budget. So I don't know if there's anything, like I couldn't really pinpoint anything specific from a business perspective, except maybe with the general comment. Like I said, there's a lot of investment plan, infrastructure, all of that stuff, and that's really great news. But my fear is, how good are we going to be at executing it? If we are able to successfully execute on the infrastructure projects, that's certainly going to create a lot of employment. There's going to be a lot of downstream impacts to various types of businesses, both large and small. So in general, I think there's going to be a lot of activity, economic activity, and we need that because it's, the economy has been slow, although surprisingly we created almost 70,000 jobs in October, I think, which is a bit of a surprising stat. It was a good surprise. So I think for me right now, it's a wait and see approach. I want to see what Carney does. I know it's it's a pretty divisive kind of, there are people who really like him, and then there are people who absolutely can't stand him. I'm just I'm not overly political. I want to I take a very neutral position on this. I want to give the benefit of the doubt to the country's leadership and see if we can actually move away from the over-reliance on the US, build out infrastructure like pipelines and stuff to be able to sell to Europe, and that's only going to help us for the longer term, right? So highly general observations, Richard. I to be honest, they haven't really had a lot of time to dive deep into the budget. I was kind of skirting through what the critical points were of the budget, and this is kind of my thoughts on it.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Just because I'm wearing a red shirt, I'm not liberal minded here. So
well, I don't care. I'm not.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
so
yeah.
I saw some comments by Mark. It was part-time jobs. It was good for me, for my son. Like, oh, part-time jobs. The kids have been killing. They need those kind of work. But we don't know who's taking those jobs. And I want to get away from the politics, but look at the opportunities out there. This is something the government has done a lot in the past. There's a lot of investment-oriented stuff to hopefully get business to jump on it. Doesn't always, they're not always capitalize that. I know I got a lot of work from the Canada Digital Adoption Program. That one actually worked really well. Before they launched that, there was this thing called advanced manufacturing, which they couldn't get the funding out fast enough. So it is a bit of a wait and see. If this incentivizes people to do things, great. It has a multiplier effect, a compounding effect. One of the things I did notice, though, is if for those that are willing to invest in innovation and make changes, and this is something we need to perk our ears on, there is some tax-related benefits and incentives. One of them is like, if you do big capital investments that have innovation, and I'm totally just kind of reading what I'm hearing and learning about now. So, you know, you'll have to ask your accountants and stuff. But one of them was like, you know, if you invest in a ground system or something like that, that's going to cost that you would normally get tax benefits over the lifelong longevity of this product, you can actually get all those tax benefits up front. So they're trying to get people to do more things to take advantage of the challenges that we're in. So I'm trying to put my ear to the ground and say, look, there's opportunities on there. For those that want to take this time to be more resilient or build a business model that will help them get through this, there are some incentives in this new budget that may not be obvious that can help pay for some of that. So that's what I was looking for. It's like, with everybody entrenching and trying to get better at what they do from a productivity and profiting standpoint, what are they investing in, and how is that being supported moving forward? So something to think about when you guys are maybe pitching some longer term projects that you might be more worried about in uncertain times. There's some things there behind it to give some rationale for people to start doing things now. That's what I got out of it too. So something to think about in there and to dig in a little bit. And again, I'm not in the. We need governments on both sides of the border right now so that we can have a successful Canada. But one thing I also say is resiliency Canada, and just hang it in while we're getting pounded by those in the U.S. And look at David's getting U.S. customers, which is like there's something about us and the small guys that can dig in and be dogged about it. I think I sent that to my son. I was looking for, like, as you guys were talking about strategy, I sent him something. I couldn't find it because I sent him a bunch of stuff on the background. But one of the things is just like pure dogged resilience in terms of success, right? I think if you guys want to look for an interesting read in terms of stuff like that, Warren Buffett just did his final letter to his shareholders, and it has, towards the end of it, they were talking about some of the things he's shared and secrets of his survival through it. And it's just really simple stuff. I think a couple of you guys are hitting on the points, like keep it simple stuff. Know where your focus is. That's part of strategy. Know where the client's going to go, where you should go. So some of those things in there. Go ahead, Christina.
No, my question, I just, I feel like a lot of us obviously could benefit with whether we want to work with the US or not, but based on kind of the exchange rate in that. So I'm curious, like I have one US client, but it came through sort of a networking organization where it kind of passed through. I'm curious, Dave or others that are working with a number of US clients, sort of how you're finding them and figure because we all do different things, having that kind of insight is always good.
Dave, go ahead.
Yeah, so a lot of the clients I work with are either based on education, marketing, and either big cities. I mean, they know what they're living in. They know what political climate they're in. They're oftentimes apologetic about it. But to your point, unlike the exchange rate, I'm not going to turn away business because of my own political leanings or anything like that. Obviously, nothing unethical, but and for the most part, I don't work with people I don't like. So if I ever get a whiff of anything that I'm not keen to, I just shut it down. And there's a no assholes policy, and I like that, and just keep it, to your point, Richard, keeping it simple.
Oh, for sure. And sorry for the clarification, not about whether you work with different markets. I was just curious, is it sort of ads that you're doing or just based on kind of working with some clients and then getting referrals from other clients, how the US clients are piling up? 'Cause that's a great thing.
Oh yeah, for sure. Honestly, it's referral based. 100% business referral. I know if you try to look me up, you'll probably find nothing, and I don't know if it's a good or bad thing, but being around since 2014, it's been working so far. So, no, it's purely based on referral, and I guess just that kind of like networking spider effect, where so and so knows somebody here, and I get a foot in the U.S. market, and all of a sudden there's just like 5 or 6 people that have heard of me and want to work with me. So.
Perfect,
Excellent,
thanks.
Dave. And Dave does a good quality work, so that speaks for itself. So, and I think a lot of people could share that as well. And I'm not going to repeat exactly what Ian said, but she had some advice in terms of picking your clients. If you guys want to look in the comments in there. But you're muted there.
Oh, it was Dave's advice. He said
Oh,
it.
it was. Oh, he did say it.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
I
I
didn't.
just
I didn't catch it. I
reiterated
didn't
it
hear
in
him say.
in the chat.
I automatically my innocent mind censored it out. Like I don't know what it is.
And Jody thinks we should get it embroidered somewhere.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
We can all get
Couple-
T-shirts. The B2B cohort.
Yeah, we should. Yeah, should. Yep. I'll let that one hang out there for a little bit. What else, guys? Last minute, little some fast stuff. What else are you seeing out there? You've done a few. Your webinar. You're going to put it up in the B2B cohort, right? Just let it, or at least make the announcement after the fact, so that we can watch.
They're in person.
All of these are in person. Okay, no recordings.
No, I'm doing it in the flesh. That's what I said at the beginning. Like more relationship. People want to see each other.
Yes.
Oh no,
100%.
no. This has been like I haven't done this in a long time. But I got back on the horse. I had my flu and COVID shots. Thank you.
I love how the comments just pop out and they just come part of the conversation. Yeah. I'm frugal when it comes to my time. I just really, I'm conscious about how long it takes to get somewhere and come back, and spending the whole day.
It's worth it. These
100%,
are my target
100%.
audience. It's women-owned, it's women-led businesses. And yeah, I have really good relationships with both the administration and or founders and members. And that's where it's been a good source of business for me. So
I was going to say, you're aligning it with your strategy. You're aligning it with how it's going to work for you to give you the better chance before you pick. You're not just randomly showing up. It has.
Oh no. And my trip last week, they took care of me.
Nice.
So yes, no, all good, all good.
I 100% agree. Seeing people in person, the conversations. There's so much that you pick up. It doesn't have to always be business, right? Like you're just moving forward, right? What is one of the things? Oh, it was a podcast I was listening to, and they talked about grow or die. But what he said is, grow doesn't necessarily mean grow in revenue, but it can be growing in learning, growing as a person, growing as long as you're continuously getting better. What did somebody say? Perfection's impossible, but everybody can get better. So some of the things that you could do to kind of get to that, and all those things are important. Getting in front of everybody. I'm gonna get last 2 minutes. Does anybody want to take this time to rush to the washroom before they go to the next meeting, or you want to say one last thing? Go ahead, Jody.
Okay, so I'm going to be the devil's advocate here. There is a lot of wonderful things that AI can do, but there's a lot that AI should not do. And I am in a world where I'm competing with AI because people are saying, well, I can just Google what a business coach and consultant can do. You're right. You can Google it. You can ask ChatGPT to do things. You can get strategy development done. You can get them to write a business plan, but it's not customized to you. There's errors in it, and it's pulling from data that is not up to date. And so I'm in my early 40s, and this is my kind of a component. I use AI to maybe create the script to do the call, but I do the call, not the email.
Yeah, 100%. I think
Miranda and I was just going to say that
go ahead,
support
Mark.
that, Jody, that AI can't hold a client accountable, whereas one of the big roles that we play when we're working with clients in real life is accountability. We keep them on schedule. We say, did you do your homework? Have you completed this yet? And, you know, it's not like it's not going to happen. There will come a time when AI will evolve to the point where, you know, you get up in the morning and it'll be like, did you do those things that you said you were going to do? And people will start actually interacting with AI as if it was human intelligence. At that point, it may be a challenge, but absolutely it can't do that now.
Well,
That's the point though. You can have the AI set up your calendars, do the reminders, but the human swipes it away. Having a human to human hold you accountable is very, very different. And I quite enjoyed listening kind of in the background to the statistics and the engagement piece regarding AI, but I think that we have to Dorothy's point, find those tools that fit us and customize to us, and not just fall into the AI trap where it can do everything for us, because I think that it'll actually drain and drown our business and we won't have any accountability or ownership over it anymore. So
100%.
I love being up to date on a lot of this stuff, but I firmly believe the importance of calling and shaking somebody's hand still. And I know it's part of my generation, but it serves my business model really well. Whereas AI has helped complemented some of that, drafting, that writing, like I said, that cold call draft script to give some 2 cents. So there's a collaboration with AI that I enjoy, but I'm watching it emerge and take force in a lot of industries. So it's quite interesting for me.
And I'm going to wrap on. Hey, these comments are going to go on and on in the B2B course, but I want to wrap and get everybody back on schedules for the next meeting or whatever the next need to do. That was a great conversation, guys. I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in person. Miranda, we got to figure out how we're going to get posted to Orangeville one day. Well, I'll have to figure that out.
I'll
work
come
on
to
that.
Mississauga. I can
Okay,
come
there
to
you go.
Mississauga.
There you
That's
go.
easy
There you
enough.
go.
Yeah.
Excellent. Guys, have a fantastic rest of the month, and we'll talk soon. Bye now.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.